Josh Freed, who we had on not that long ago, I think last time we were talking about tipping and tapping, but this thing is one of those things as well that just drives you nuts. If you look, we've talked bike paths here before, but typically the issue is the battle between motorists and cyclists, right? This is all about people who are already on those bike paths and are finding out that it doesn't matter apparently what you drive. If it's not a car, apparently it's okay to
Everybody's
drive
on the bike path now. It's become like the most popular place to be, it seems.
Which is making it one of the worst places to be at the same time if you are just a cyclist. And Josh wrote about that. He's on the line. Josh, how are you?
I'm good, Aaron.
Do we need new rules for bike paths?
Well, we need rules, period, Like, I'm a big bicyclist.
Yeah.
I love biking. But, I biked to dinner last night. But, the bike paths have become crazy. There's, like, e-bikes, e-scooters, e-hoverboards, e-unicycles. I'm sort of expecting to see, like, an e-surfboard go by me these days. I call it e-chaos. There's just so many e-contraptions. And it's actually just a problem of success, Aaron.
It's also a problem of no enforcement, isn't it, Josh? I mean, you ever seen anyone stopped on a bike path?
No, we don't. We haven't had major bike rules because it wasn't really a massive problem before all these e-contraptions showed up. But now you got a lot of mothers who are taking their kids to school with their kids behind them on a bike, and there's an e-bike going 35 kilometers an hour going the other day with some guy maybe texting on it at the same time. That makes it much scarier. You know what I mean? It's just these e-scooters are wild. I mean, there's nothing wrong with an e-scooter. I like e-bixies. I'm a little old for an e-scooter, but you look at the delivery guys on e-scooters. They're on an e-bike. They're staring at their phone, looking at the GPS, looking to see what their next address is to deliver a pizza. So they may feel very confident staring at their phone, but when you're coming at them and they're moving 30 kilometers an hour, and you got your kid in the back seat, or you're an older person, you want to go eek to that E thing. It's scary, Aaron. And we have a lot of cops on bikes, but they don't seem to give tickets to anybody.
Yeah, what do they do, by the way, the cops on bikes?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they roam around looking good, they cruise, and what they should be doing is, grabbing speeding e-contraptions. Some of them are as big as motorcycles. They don't even kick those off the path. Sometimes you see a thing coming at you. It's a motorcycle. It's not a bike, So they should give some tickets. The e-scooters have another problem. They don't make any sounds. You don't hear them coming up behind you when some 17-year-old kid passes you. They need some kind. I would give them a party noisemaker or a bell or something, And the last problem, which I mentioned in the column, is these are motorized vehicles. To get a driver's license for a car, you got to take lessons. You got to take a driving test over a year. Anyone can hop on an e-vehicle. And even though you're supposed to be 18, I see 16-year-olds jumping on these bikes. They don't know. They look like they've never biked before, let alone e-bike. So, I guess we need some kind of e-bike training for new bikers or licensing or something. But you can't just have... I had so many letters in the last few days from older bikers, people older being 50 plus, saying they're giving up biking in the last year because they're terrified of all the e-contraptions speeding by them. So if you want biking to be transport in Montreal, and the City Hall's serious about bikes competing with cars as transport, you can't scare everybody who's over 35 off the paths, right?
Yeah, I think there needs to be an awareness campaign too, because literally everybody thinks that the paths are for them. And so, I see people on Vespas and we're not, that they're too big to be on there. And I also just see people walking. And so we either have to figure out how to share it, or there needs to actually be signage saying this bike path is only for, and then list who is allowed to use it. Or maybe we also need a fast lane and a slow lane. I'm thinking about that, Josh.
Let's widen those paths a little bit
seriously.
more. Yeah.
We could have one lane for bikes, one for e-scooters, one for unicycles. It's just trouble to be no room left for cars,
and
right?
barely a lane for cars. By the way, Josh, to your description of the the guy texting, delivering a pizza,
so true.
It's coming, right? We're going to have driverless boxes now carrying those pizzas with GPS built in. You won't even see anybody. It'd just be a box on wheels going down that bike path.
With skis in it on a horizontal skis.
I'm telling you. It's only a matter of time. Josh, stick around. You mentioned e-scooters. We know the city of Montreal, that experiment didn't work out very well here. Now, of course, you can head down to Parc Jean-Drapeau. Limited for now anyway to try. But out in Laval, I don't know if you read about the mayor there deciding, we're going to do e-scooters out here. Stéphane Boyer is the mayor of Laval. He's on the line. Monsieur Boyer, thanks for your time this afternoon. You heard this description of what's happening on bike paths. Montreal's failed sort of pilot, if you will, program with e-scooters. Why are you deciding to bring them back to Laval?
Well, I think because there's two big differences from what you have discussed. First of all, one of the big concerns that there was in Montreal in 2019 when they tried the e-scooters is that people would pile them up all over the place and leave them all around in the parks or, where in places where it was not convenient.
Mm-hmm.
And the companies, they adapted. They've learned from that, and now they are able to force the people to park them in a designed area and standing upright. So they have adapted the application, the apps, and the scooters to be able to, make it more acceptable to the public. So for us, it was important to give it a try. And I think one thing also, because I was listening to the discussion before, I think it's also very different in Laval, the situation on our bike paths than it is in Montreal. There's not as many people. We can't say that our bike paths are crowded. So the conflict between users is not the same as you might experience in Montreal, for example.
Okay, that was something I was going to ask, because I imagine most people there are using it more for leisure rather than a mode of transport to get to work or whatnot. Or do people still use it, like say to get to the metro to then get to work? Is it a mode of transport for practicality or more for leisure?
Well, now we're doing a pilot project, so we'll be able to retrieve some data and try to understand how people use it.
Mm-hmm.
So my guess is that it's going to be a mix of those. Hopefully some people will use it to go to work, to do some small distances. The more people are on bike or in buses or on e-scooters, the less cars will be stuck on traffic or in the lanes. So hopefully some people will want to use it on a regular basis, but I might understand why some people also will just want to, go around with it. When you try it, it's kind of, it's kind of fun. It's you feel pretty free. So it's I would see why some people would enjoy just a ride to go around town. But it's a project coming from, it's not the project of the city. It's a business behind that, and the cost is, it costs few bucks. So you don't go with that for an hour, otherwise it's going to be very expensive. So it's really made for short distances.
I'm just curious as to one thing. The idea of dropping the bikes in the past when Montreal was allowing them anywhere and everywhere, including in the Lachine Canal, apparently. You said the companies that manufacture these, that distribute these, have worked that out. Does that mean if I pick up in Laval an e-scooter and I dump it anywhere, they're going to know that I did that? Is that how it works?
The way it works is that there is two mechanisms. So the first one is that the scooter will work only if you are in the zone allowed by the city. For instance, in our case, it's a pilot project that is in the center of Laval. So as soon as you get out of the pilot project zone, the wheel stops, the motor stops, so you can't go forward anymore. And the other thing is that if you don't park it in the right place, upstanding, they're going to keep billing you until the scooters come back in the parking
that's
spot.
That's smart.
Interesting.
That's such a simple solution.
Mm-hmm. So you keep paying for basically being for not putting it back where it's supposed to
You
go.
incentivize people to put it
for
back
doing the
properly.
right thing.
Yeah.
Okay. How long is this pilot project going to last out there?
The way we've made the contract, it can go for 3 summers. Of course, if it's really not working out, we're going to pull the plug before. If it works well, we can put more scooters. We can make the zone larger. So we will adapt. But to me, it was important to at least try it in the light of the new development, the new technological development. And also in the case where here in Laval, it's a city that was built for cars. More people drive around. It's fine. But we want to develop alternatives to move around. And we thought, why not give it a try for this option?
Good for you. Okay. Mayor Boucher, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Stéphane Boyer, the mayor of Laval, and their pilot project out in Laval. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.